All right, and is the mic good?
Yep.
All right, mic's good. All right, and we're back. We're going to feature another match since we have a little more time left in round one. We're going to move to Ian Sumner on our right, who's playing black-white tokens, against Jeremy Izzio, who's on Affinity. And Jeremy, after a nice...
Catching a glimpse of these hands, I think we might have a different match here.
Well, there's Affinity.
Right, cool.
Yep.
Nice.
So Jeremy took game one. Game one took a while for him, so we're going to go right into game two. Players are debating what hands they want to keep.
And so I consider this to be a pretty bad matchup for Affinity. Something Affinity struggles with is
A lot of creatures.
cheap flyers, especially because
Chump blockers.
when you're playing Affinity, you're attacking with a lot of X1 flyers, even if they have a cranial plating on them.
Yep.
Signal Pest, especially, is a 0/1 that just can't even attack into a Lingering Souls.
Yep.
And I'm sure Ian just has a
He has
tremendous
a full set of Lingering Souls. He has Spectral Processions, Midnight Hauntings, Intangible Virtues, Bitter Blossom.
Mm-hmm. So I think the best card in the matchup for Jeremy here is going to be Steel Overseer, just to continuously pump his
Edge
creatures.
Champion.
Yeah, Edge Champion too.
Yep.
So Steel Overseer is going to be able to let Jeremy win in the air, which is going to be pretty important.
Yep. They're waiting for the ready. If you want to let them know, we're ready. We're ready when they are.
Yep.
I got it. All right, both players give a humble handshake, and we're on our way with game two. Like Jeremy's going to lead off with a Blinkmoth Nexus into a Vault Scourge, dropping him to 18. Jeremy's going to play a Mox Opal.
It doesn't look like he's going to have Metalcraft this turn.
He doesn't have Metalcraft this turn.
So you'll notice in Jeremy's hand, it looks like he also has a Master of Ethereum, which is another way to at least pump his flyers big enough so they're not trading with Lingering Souls tokens.
Correct.
It's still not as great as Steel Overseer, but
yeah, it's still a decent card.
It helps.
Yeah, he has 3 of them in the main deck.
I think it's actually more relevant on defense than it is on offense.
In this matchup, yes.
And of course, it's always possible for the Affinity deck to just have a blisteringly fast hand. It looks like we're going to actually see that Master of Ethereum here and an attack for
on
2.
Turn.
Oh, no.
Edge Champion
instead.
Yep. Again, good card against Ian here. He has Metalcraft.
And of course, this represents more damage next turn if he plays the Master.
All right. And this is the last match in the round. All the other matches in round 1 are finished up.
Yep. And this is one of those blisteringly fast draws I was talking about.
It's a good draw.
So 3-drop on turn 2 is probably going to be followed up with another 3-drop right after.
Yep, so Jeremy's at 18. Ian's going to go down to 18 as well. And assuming damage goes through, Jeremy will be right back to 20. Off the lifelink.
And I
Ian tanking a little bit.
Catch too much of Ian's hand. I'm pretty sure he has a Lingering Souls, but he can't cast that until next turn. Obviously,
Correct.
the flashback he could, but
yeah.
Not yet.
So, out of curiosity, what do you think the value is of Whip Flare in this matchup for Jeremy? With the Intangible Virtues and such in Ian's deck. Do you think it's still worth bringing in?
I think so. There's just a really good chance that you're going to be able to... Oh, there's a Castigate?
Is that a cast? Yeah. He plays 4 main deck Castigates. You want to bring that up for the viewers here?
I'll go ahead and pull that one up.
Castigate. Castigate reads that target opponent reveals their hand. And you're going to choose an on-land card from it and exile it instead of discard it. It comes with a cost. It's 2 mana. You have to have white-black. But a pretty good card in this situation. Unfortunately for Ian, Jeremy's already spat out most of his deck. Or most of his hand, rather.
Maybe he didn't have a...
Sub-Zero
I didn't get a catch of his hand here, but I guess he didn't have that Master.
Maybe not, but he is winging in for 6 here.
In his hand was.
Ian's going to go to 11. Jeremy's going to go back to 22.
It looks like the players
My
have
light
themselves
totals
at
are
20 and 13. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it should be 4, 5 damage, right?
I thought it was 7.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, he
4,
blocked.
5.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Or it's just the... Yeah, I don't know where the extra 2 is coming from there, but... Got 1 from Vault Scourge, 1 from Midnight, 2 from Edge Champion, and 1 from the Blinkmoth.
Yep.
And did you catch what the
He should
last
be at
card in
20.
his hand was?
Yeah, he should be at 20. I did not catch what the
Right,
last
right.
card in his hand was.
Yeah,
right
it
now.
was. He gained 1 and 1.
Yeah,
That's correct.
not 2 and 2. Ian, thinking about his next play, it looks like he might be stuck on lands here.
Certainly. Yeah. And if we get any business draw from Affinity again, like a cranial plating, the
Pretty
game
much just
should
game
pretty
over.
much be over.
With the Etch Champion in play, yeah. Bitter Blossom, the draw. He's going to go to 12 off of that.
And that Bitter Blossom is going to be far too slow in this matchup, unfortunately.
And far too painful.
Yeah.
He's going to be taking 1 each turn. I'm sure Jeremy's just fine with that.
And Ian does have sources of life gain in his deck,
Mhm.
but I think they start at 4 mana
They
in
do.
this deck typically. And it looks like he has 1 Sorin,
There's a
which is
Springleaf
kind of
Drum.
like the fastest way to gain life.
Just going to come in with the whole team here.
Right. Getting in for some
lot.
effect as well.
Looks like 1 Infect,
It's
1,
gonna
2,
be-
3, 4, 5 regular.
So,
Looks like he's going to go to 8.
despite the blisteringly fast
Sorry,
draw,
8 for Ian.
7.
Yeah.
It's just hard to see sometimes in the deck, but he is at
Oh.
7.
Okay, cool.
And he's
I can still math.
about to go down to 6 on his upkeep.
Yep. Of note, he is at 1 Infect. Don't think that'll be entirely relevant here, but good to know.
I think it's pretty unlikely. If we see a cranial plating, it's going to go straight on the Etch Champion and just end the game.
Yep.
I'm not really sure what Ian can draw to get out of this.
Timely reinforcements
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good one.
or damnation.
Well, unfortunately, Damnation's not going to do it. It's not going to be fast enough.
Sure. Actually, yeah, he has to have timely in hand and then drop a 3rd land. So fair point.
And then he's going to take 2 from the Etch Champion, go down to 4, then go down to 3, and be dead in another
Yeah.
turn after that. Oh, yeah, he'll gain the life off of the timely.
He's in a really rough spot.
He has a card in the back of his hand that I don't recognize.
Crib swap.
And I'm pretty sure Jeremy is at 21 because he's gained 3 life total off of this Vault Scourge. I don't think he's
Correct.
taken damage off of anything else.
Intangible Virtue, the draw.
All right. Well, we have a
2/2 fairy rogue.
vigilant fairy, so it's going to be able to
Bet.
get. Oh, yeah. We're not going to represent the tokens.
Thank you, Head Judge Joe Steet.
Yeah, I'm really just at a loss for how Ian can get back in this game.
I don't think you can.
I'm scanning the deck list here.
I really don't think you
Like
can.
his Spectral Procession is still going to be too slow.
I don't know what the draw was from Jeremy. Can't quite see it. I'm sure he can play it, though, either way.
Yeah, Affinity does a good job of having a lot of excess mana sometimes.
Yep. And then using it effectively.
So I was talking about how the black-white tokens deck does take over the air pretty easily, and
Well,
that
you need
Vault
mana to
Scourge-
do that.
right? So I mean, even with the 1/1 fairy or the 2/2 fairy is going to be able to eat something, but then I think the game's just going to end after that because this is going to be
Jeremy's
4
swinging with
damage.
everything again.
There's going to be 4 damage getting through, and then Ian's going to go down to 1.
And that's if he blocks.
Yeah, I'm sure that
He's going to have to.
he's almost certainly blocking the Blink Moth, Vault Scourge, or Memnite.
It looks like he's going to block the
Jumping in
Blink
front.
Moth.
So he's going to go down to 2 from this attack and then 1 from the Bitter Blossom. And
So he's
then,
at 2 and 2 Infect.
Yep, and the
This game looks to be about over.
the 1 of Timely will keep him alive, but
Yep.
just barely. And then
And
yeah, so he's gonna have to.
this is very
He's
likely the
gonna have
last
to
draw all
have
around.
have it, and then also hit running winds.
Yep, this looks to be the last draw all around, unless he hits a land that has a timely in hand.
Yeah, for as fast as Jeremy's hand was, and for as land
Ian-
light Ian's was,
Ian goes to
this
1.
game did take a lot of turns to finish. But that's kind of what happens when Affinity doesn't have any of the huge business cards.
And what is the draw? Is it a handshake or is it action?
Looks like there's an uncastable Castigate, which is funny. Looks like another Bitter Blossom. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what that card in the back is. It might be a Timely, but it
It's
doesn't
either-
matter because he didn't draw a land.
Yeah. Either way, it's not going to see the battlefield. Pretty sure Ian sees the writing on the wall.
Yep.
I don't think there's any way for him to get out of this on 2 mana.
So I don't know if I'm misevaluating the matchup by saying it's bad for Affinity, but this was certainly not indicative of how the match usually goes.
That's fair.
And Etch Champion certainly, I think outside of Damnation, there's no way to answer it. So an Etch Champion with a Cranial Plating is really awesome in this matchup.
Yeah.
Of course, the 3 Stony Silences on the board can keep the plating from ever equipping, but...
Ian is going to swing for 4 here.
Well, then you might as well get in.
Yeah.
Is there a 2-mana board wipe in this format?
With Flare. I don't think that's good for Ian now.
So you think we're just going to see a pass of the turn by Jeremy here?
Clearly. Cranial Plating.
Alright, I guess not. Alright, Cranial Plating right on time. So instead of dealing 2 damage...
He's going to deal a lot of damage.
Alright, he's going
for value.
Maximum overkill here. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Handshakes.
10. Yeah, so 10 damage coming through.
Yep, and that's going to be it. Jeremy Izzio is going to win game 2 and take this match 2 games 2-0.
Really unfortunate draw for Ian, just not even being able to deploy the threats in his hand.
I see you did the math diligently there to put him to -9.
I think that's correct.
Well, I'll let the viewers decide.
Alright.
Alright, so we're wrapped up with round 1 here. That is the last match in the round. So I think we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back with game 2. Or round 2. So we'll see you in a few minutes, and thanks for coming out.